Well, hey guys, I am really glad that you are here today. I'm excited for this project, what you get to be a part of. I hope it will have an impact on you and also an impact on others that you come in contact with today. My name is Chris. I serve as the pastor of The Journey and the director of something called Come Closer, which is a partnership network in our city among churches and others who are working together to address some of the deep needs in our city. So you're kind of a part of a much bigger picture today. Let me give you a little history to help you kind of understand where you are and how it got here. Years ago, I was working at a counseling center. I was working as someone who created new programs for people dealing with addiction, people who had hit bottom in life, just creating opportunities for them to experience change in their lives. And through that, as part of what I did, we began some voluntary Bible studies on Saturday mornings. And people began to attend. They began to want to invite their family and their friends to attend. And we realized that God was doing something bigger than what I had in mind at the time when we started. So it was out of that Bible study group that the journey developed and grew into a church family. And we knew from the beginning that we were to be a church that reached those on the outside of hope looking in. Those who wrestled with addictions, with mental illness, with poverty, with other sorts of painful struggles. People who, for whatever reason, didn't feel like they could walk in most churches that they might pass during the course of their day-to-day lives. We just noticed there was just a chasm. I mean, not just a divide, but this like uncrossable chasm in many cases between the church, between the people of God and people in need. And so I really believe with all my heart, God formed the journey to serve somewhat as a bridge. That was part of our purpose, a bridge between the people of God and people in need. So as we began to do that work and watch people be baptized and gain an understanding of our community and the needs that exist and some ways to help and not to help, through the years, it just became really obvious through all of that there was no way that one church was going to minister to all the needs that exist in a city. There was no way our church was going to be able to minister to all of the needs of hurting people that lived within just a 1 mile radius of where you're sitting right now. And so God began to impress upon my heart as I was asking him, God, what else do you want? What else do you want me to do? What else do you want us to do? God just sort of impressed upon my heart a little bit of a correction and direction at the same time. The thing that just echoed in my head from God was, were you under the impression that you're the only one of my people that I put here? And it's like he just busted down the walls of the box inside which I was stuck and the way I was looking at things. And I just began to reach out to a few other pastors and we started some conversations. And I realized that God was working in their heart the same way that he was in our heart. That, man, we needed to get outside of our walls. The church as a whole needed to do something different. We needed to adjust the way that we were doing ministry. We needed a greater kingdom mindset. And Zach's dad was one of the guys God placed on my heart that I sat down and had lunch with. And we realized God was working in our hearts in a very similar way. So we've been able to do some things together in the city over the last decade or more, as we have with a number of other pastors. So that was sort of the beginning of Come Closer, which was an effort not just for the journey to serve as a bridge in our role, but really to expand that so that not just the people of God with the journey could connect with people in need, but that the people of God in the church as a whole in our city could find ways to connect with people in need. So we do a lot of work in identifying what the current needs that exist in our city are and trying to shine a light on the on-ramps through which Christians in churches and businesses across our city can get engaged in addressing those needs in the best way possible. One of the projects that we have done throughout the years is something called Bags of Hope. And Bags of Hope serves multiple purposes. On the one hand, people in our city who live on just a very small amount of income, at the end of the month, they can sometimes have trouble purchasing items that are pretty basic and really important for any household. But the support that they might receive in terms of something like food stamps or other kind of support, it doesn't cover the cost of these basic important items. So at the end of the month, when money is running tight, sometimes a simple way we can bless people who are striving to move forward in their life is to make getting some basic necessities a little bit easier. So from time to time, when we have the opportunity, we put together what are called Bags of Hope. And those just contain 4 or 5 household items such as toilet paper, paper towels, dish detergent, laundry detergent, a cleaning product, just things that aren't covered by other means of support that they may have, but are really important. And it just is a carryover from the end of a month till the first of the next month when they get additional support that comes into their household. So it can be a blessing to families. Bags of Hope also gives us a great reason to go out in the community and just come face to face with people, to cross socioeconomic lines, to expose people who maybe have lived most of their life and everything they do is within kind of a middle class setting. It gives people an opportunity to walk into areas of lower income where there are people who have to live life much differently to get by from day to day. And it raises our level of understanding. It raises our level of compassion, helps to pull people out of the, hey, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps philosophy, to a place of greater understanding that, hey, life is different. And some of the things we take for granted are things that other people can't take for granted. So it changes us. It blesses people. And it helps us to connect with people. It gives us an opportunity to have conversations with people we didn't know and ask, hey, is there any way that we can pray for you? And allows us, in most cases, in most apartments, people will share with you a prayer request that they have. And you can take a moment and just pray for them right there in their presence. And prayer forms a bond between people. And it's a way of interceding for them and establishing this connection of care. So it has a multitude of effects potentially. So that's why we do it, and that's what you're going to get to do today. You're going to get to pack some bags with household supplies that at the end of the month, some people might be running short on. You're going to get to go out and walk through some neighborhoods where there are some people for whom life is tough. It's not easy to make it from day to day or from month to month. You're going to get to meet some new people. You're going to get to ask them if there's any way that you could pray for them. And then you're also going to get to let them know that, man, there's a church right around the corner from them that loves them and would just love to connect with them and get to meet them. It's a place where they can feel comfortable, and you can just invite them. You're going out on a Saturday, so you can invite them to come and to join us the following morning. So it's going to be hopefully something that is impactful for you. It can be impactful for them. And it can also be a connecting point between them and the Journey, which is one of only 2 local churches in this particular neighborhood called Highland. So Crystal is going to give you some instructions on how all of that stuff works and just give you some guidance and direction around these neighborhoods. Got a few other Journey folks that are going to go with you today. So there are people experienced doing this that are in your presence. But I want to take a moment and give you just a few quick safety guidelines. In all the years we've done this, we have never had a single incident of any kind. The Lord's looking out for us. In addition to that, we try to exercise just some basic wisdom because you are walking through some areas of our city that are tough. There are a lot of crime. There is a lot of crime that takes place in these areas. So let me share with you just a few things that I want you to hold on to and remember. One is that as you go out, you're going to go out in groups of 2 to 3, no more, and you're going to want to have an adult in each group. Secondly, if at all possible, you're going to want to have at least one male in each group. A third thing I would encourage you to do is be focused, be aware of your surroundings. Like, put your phones in your pocket. Don't be looking at phones. Don't be kind of just goofing off and paying no attention. Just keep your head up so you know what's going on around you. And if something makes you uncomfortable, if you feel uneasy, if you feel like I'm not sure about walking over here, you can talk to one of the Journey folks that are with you today, and they can either go with you or say, hey, let's move this direction. And the last thing is just kind of don't do anything to just draw a whole bunch of unnecessary attention. I tell groups, don't go out and be crazy loud. That leaves a bad impression or causes everybody to look at you and wonder what's going on. Just be kind of, happy, respectful, under control, focused on what you're doing and the people that you're there to serve, and just, not too much horseplay. And I thought of just one final thing that I'll share, and that is you probably don't want to take with you anything that you don't need to take with you. Like, there needs to be a cell phone in every group. So if you want to text each other to see how things are going or to remind each other of where you're going to meet back when you're done, that kind of stuff, that's totally fine. Do that. But if you don't need a whole bunch of extra cash, don't take it. If you've got other belongings or things that you brought with you, I would recommend leaving those at the church and coming back by to pick those up before you head out for the day. So just those few safety things in mind can just make a big difference and just avoid any potential issue that might arise. Again, I am really, really glad that you're here. I hope this is a great day. I want to take just a moment and pray for you, and then I'm going to turn you over to Crystal and Zach and the other folks that are there with you today to help you know what to do from here. Let me pray. God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for this group. Thank you for a group of people that wants to take and spend their time and their resources to be part of a mission trip where they can have the opportunity to minister, to serve others, to learn about different ways that you might have them do ministry at some point in their lives. God, I pray that you would do the work that you desire to do in their hearts today. And I pray that you would prepare the hearts of those that they're going to meet and come in contact with today. Lord, you're a divine matchmaker. So I ask that you would connect the people of God with people who need God today. That there would be opportunity for prayer, an opportunity to invite them and connect them to a local church where there can be where they can continue to learn who you are and what it means to follow you and who you've created them to be. God, I ask that you would bear fruit from the effort that goes forth today for your glory and for the good of your people. And we just ask these things in your precious name. Amen. You guys have a great, fruitful day.